Good evening and welcome to Lane Community College. My name is Knight Uretsky. I'm joined alongside AJ Trainer as we are on the call for Lane Community College versus Chemeketa Community College. Chemeketa making the trip south from Salem to Eugene to play against the Titans. The Titans, as everyone knows, is number one overall in the women's basketball rankings, the NWAC. They're 19-0 overall on the season, as well as being 9-0 in conference. Chemeketa, on the other hand, they're 8-9. They've had back-to-back losses to Clackamas and Clark. They're looking to pull off the upset today against the Titans, and a lot is going to be against them as this Titans team is very deep. But nonetheless, we should have some fun basketball to play here in Eugene.
Yeah, without a doubt. This Lane team is on a hot streak, and this Chemeketa team is looking to turn something around.
Lane's going to win the opening draw, and Makinich takes it to the elbow to start. She gives it back to Cooper at the top, who hands it off. Birch a three-pointer, and that's short off the front of the iron. It's rebounded now by Chemeketa. Counts with the board. Chemeketa with the ball. They're going to have Mike handling it. She gives it over, 2 counts. Back over now. Three-pointer up and no good from Mike. Makinich snags it and throws it up the floor for Cooper. Cooper going inside for ball, puts up a jumper, and the 2-foot shot is baked in. 2-0 for the Titans.
Both teams feeling the hot hand here, taking their threes just step up, but neither of them fell. First basket was a layup for Lane, though.
Lane causes a turnover after the full court press works. Makinich puts up a floater. That's no good, and it's snagged the other way by Vasquez. Lane with some stingy defense. It's been causing trouble for teams all season. Right here, they just caused another turnover, but Chemeketa gets it right back. And a whistle, and it's a foul on the Titans. Gonna be a takeout for Chemeketa on the baseline.
Smart foul there by Lane. One of their team players was down on the floor. They were down a man on defense. The foul just resets their defensive possession.
Deeker to inbound it for Chemeketa. They are the Storm. That is their mascot. As Lane causes a turnover on the inbound ball, taking it to the left lane, spins her way inside, and she's fouled and going to the line.
Yeah, Ball just decided to take it there herself. Didn't want this to the teammate. Just wanted to finish it home herself.
So Lane with a 2-0 lead. 1 minute and 19 seconds into this contest. Sarah Ball, the freshman out of Albany, at the line, and she misses the first free throw. She's a 65.2% free throw shooter this season, one of the poorer ones on this Titans team. But she goes 1 for 2 at the line and gives the Titans a 3-0 lead. Lane with a full court press again. Haytis gives it over now to Mike. Back to Haytis. And back to Mike at the top. The Lane bench clapping as they're impressed with their team's defense so far. They give it over to Haytis again. Gets a screen, now puts up a three-pointer, and Haytis couldn't get that one to connect. Rebounded offensively, though, by Deeker. Right wing, Haytis. Driving down the line, that's Mike. Into the corner, Mike a three-pointer. That's short, bounces around, and it's corralled by Counts. Back to the top now for Vasquez, and then give it back to Counts. She'll take it in on Hamill, spinning her way and passing it to the corner. Three-pointer from Haytis. That one falls through, and we're tied at 3. Makinich pushing quickly into the far corner, and Birch was out of bounds. The turnover by the Titans. And it's a 3-3 game here in the early part, 7:39 to play, and it's a lot closer than I probably anticipated coming into this game.
Same here. The Titans are struggling to get the boards, which led to Chemeketa getting several, I believe 4 straight three-point attempts, which eventually you're going to make one of them if you're just going to keep taking them like that.
Glenzel pushes it in the corner. Vasquez back to the top. A three-pointer for Chemeketa is no good. Off to the left, but another offensive board. Grimmer corralled it and gives it to the top now for Haytis. She'll hand it off to Mike on the right wing. Birch with the defense. She got a screen, took it to the elbow, puts up a floater, and it's off the heel of the rim. Snagged by Ball. Makinich pushing it up quickly, taking it to the left lane, and she's blocked, got her own board, and then threw it away to Jenna Glenzel. Under 7 minutes to play. We're still tied 3-3. Chemeketa with possession. Grimmer up to the top for Mike. She pump faked, got Birch off her feet, taking it down the left lane, kicking it to the corner now. Haydes going up with the hook, and she's fouled.
I was expecting this lane team to have their height to have more of an impact in this game, but it's seeming to not. As they're currently getting out-rebounded 5-3, and some of those were just block shots that they caught on their own. I wouldn't even call that a rebound. This Chemeketa team is making their presence in the paint.
First free throw is good from Haydes. Haydes, a 5'7" freshman guard out of South Salem. So staying close to home for community college. Misses the second one. Hamill with the board. And Makinich pushes it quickly. Shepley, a three-pointer, short. Got her own board in the short corner and dribbles it out to the perimeter. She'll put up another three-pointer. Second time doesn't work as well. Ball is on the floor, and it's out of bounds off of the Titans' Chemeketa ball, but Lane shooting really cold to start.
Yeah, both teams struggling, like you said. Chemeketa 1 of 6. Now Lane also 1 of 6. It's just a cold start for both teams here.
4-3, the Storm with the lead over the Titans. Grimmer on the near side of the court throws it across and out of bounds. She was looking for a cutting Vasquez. Instead, she found the bleachers, and it's Titan basketball. Lane right now 0 for 3 from beyond the arc, just 1 for 6, like you mentioned, from the field. Birch looking to change that, but she dribbles it off her foot. Ball's there to pick it up, puts up a shot that's no good, and Chemeketa grabs the rebound.
Sarah Ball had a devastating screen there and leveled out the Chemeketa player.
Glenzel into the short corner. Back out for Haydes. Back over to Glenzel. Glenzel, a South Eugene product, playing here in South Eugene again, but she misses the layup. Ball with the board and up the floor for Cooper. Across, and they swing it around, and that's a travel from Makinich.
Gonna get two substitutions here for Chemeketa. I believe that's Aaron Counts and Becca Grimmer checking into the game.
Glenzel to inbound it, trying to get it in, and it's taken away by Birch. She throws it to Makinich under the basket, and Makinich is fouled.
Impressive footwork by Birch there on the side, keeping her toes in bounds, finding her teammate with the behind the back pass.
So Kendra Makinich going to the line, shooting a free throw, and 2, actually, as she makes the first one. Ties the game 4-4. Makinich, a sophomore guard out of Reno, Nevada, averaging 10.3 points per game. Shooting 67% at the line, but she makes both of her free throws on this trip. And the Titans take the lead 5-4. Makinich will check out into the game. Emma McKinney, who's been hot as of late for the Titans, multiple 20-point performances. Mike up the far side of the court, goes between her legs, pulls up a mid-range, and that goes through.
Fantastic move there. Got herself open, got the defender biting down on the drive, and just pulled up for the easy mid-range.
6-5 now for the Storm. McKinney's going to put up a three-pointer, short. Ball bounces around, out of bounds off of Glenzel. Going to stay here with the Titans. 20 seconds on the shot clock, 4:57 to play here in the first quarter. An immediate timeout's going to be called. But right now, the Storm leading against the Titans, and this Titans team that's been averaging 44.7% field goal shooting, right now shooting a poor 12.5%. Not a lot of offense.
Yeah, they're 0 of 4 from 3, and I believe on the season they're around 40 to 50%. So this is poor shooting performance from 3, and 1 of 8 from the field is also another poor performance. And Chemeketa's not doing much better. 1 of 5 from 3 and 2 of 8 from the field. It's just that one extra three-pointer that they've made that's got them this one more point in the game. It's going to come down to who can shoot better as the game goes on. If both teams stay cold, we're going to have a low-scoring game like this.
What do you think the Titans got to do to really clean things up on the offensive end? I mean, they're putting up shots, but a lot of them seem contested and a little bit forced. What do you think they got to do to get back into rhythm?
Well, their offense usually thrives off their defense, and they're getting the stops on defense, but they're just not finding their passes aren't working on the fast break. I think if they can control the fast break just a little bit better, then they'll start to get more open layups and more open threes.
After the timeout, McKinney's going to inbound it. Shepley, Hamill, Ball, and Birch on the floor. Kenny gets it into a cutting ball. Her layup's short. And it's rebounded again by the Storm. Beaker. Good defense from Hamill. Gave it to Grimmel, and now over to the left wing. Haydes between her legs, giving it to the corner. It's taken away. Shepley up the floor quickly for Birch. Glenzel runs her down from behind. Picks it up, and a timeout's going to be called by Chemeketa. Head coach Kevin McCarroll wants to talk things over with his team. And that's a quick timeout right after the media break. But Glenzel was chasing it down, and I think he just wanted to slow things down and not cause a turnover on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think you're right. Glenzel was moving pretty quickly. I think he wanted to stop her from maybe running out of bounds and giving the ball back to the Titans, and also set up a good offensive possession.
So we talked a little bit in the media break about what Lane can do offensively, and a lot of that is coming up big stops on the defensive end and turning that into points. What does Chemeketa have to do on the offensive end to really get things going?
Well, right now they're only shooting threes for the most part, and it hasn't really been working. They can keep trying that, and hopefully they make their threes, or they can go and try to find their way inside. And they're out-rebounding them, so if they can make their way in the paint, they should be able to make their layups as well.
Lane with the full court press again. They beat it, giving it to Glenzel, stopping at the three-point line, hands it off. Deeker back to Glenzel down the left lane, goes up with her right hand, and she's fouled. Jenna Glenzel's going to go to the line, and she'll be shooting two.
It was a beautiful move by Glenzel. Went up with it, came back around, and just went up with her right underhanded and drew the foul.
Foul is going to be on Maddie Birch. That's her second foul. That's going to prompt her to check out as Malone comes into the game. Glenzel at the line. Can't make the first free throw, and it remains 6-5. Glenzel from Eugene, went to South Eugene High School, just graduated there last year. Her mom is a PE teacher at South Eugene as she makes the second free throw, goes up 6-5.
Must feel nice to be back home for a little bit.
Absolutely. Not too far away up in Salem, about an hour or so away. A lot closer to In-N-Out, I can tell you that.
Still haven't tried that.
Wow. Inside ball gets it to fall. And it's 7-7 now as the Titans even it up. Again, the full court press, but this time it looks like Chemeketa's beating it as Vasquez lays it in. They take the lead 9-7.
Their full court was in man, and they just let Chemeketa get behind them, and there was no safety blanket back there.
Malone's going to put up a three-pointer from the perimeter, off to the right, snagged by Grimmer. She'll dribble it up the far side of the court. This is fast-paced basketball. Haydes dribble it off her foot. Ball is on the floor. Shepley falls on it, trying to give it to her teammate, and a jump ball is called.
Addie Malone already making an impact from just getting subbed in. Running back on defense, you can see her pointing out, making adjustments, calling out, making sure everyone had who they were supposed to get to stop Chemeketa from scoring and going up 2 possessions.
Malone, a great player off the bench for the Titans. In the last game against Umpqua, she had 16 points off the bench and already trying to make an impact in this game as good defense by Lane causes a turnover from Chemeketa as they throw the ball out of bounds. Titan basketball, 3:30 to play. And it's 9-7 in favor of the Storm. Kenny crossing up Mike, goes down the left lane, and she's fouled and going to go to the line. No, they're actually going to say the foul was before the shot was put up, so it's going to be the first foul on Deeker, and McKinney, it's inbound. Gets it in quickly, and Hamill easily lay in on the nice cut, 9-9.
It was a nice inbound play there by Lane. Sarah Ball cut to the corner, drew in everybody outside, and Hamill just took her shot at the inside.
Mike dribbling up the left side. They give it in the far corner. Vasquez put up a contested hook. No good, but she got her own board. Out for Grimmer into the perimeter. A three-pointer from Counts off the backboard. That was a brick. Malone up the floor. High-low entry, and she's fouled at the stripe. She'll go to the line and shoot two.
This Chemeketa team's still struggling to hit from three. They have the only three-pointer of the game, but 16.7 isn't much to really be bragging about.
Ball is going to check out. McInich checks back into the game. Malone at the line, shooting free throws, the chance to give her team the lead, and that's exactly what she does. 10-9 in favor of the Titans. Malone this season shooting about 69% at the free throw line and goes 1 for 2 on this trip. McInich snags the offensive board though. Titans stay on offense. Shepley up to the top for Hamill. Hands it off to McKinney on the perimeter. She'll drive down the right lane. Goes up with her right hand and finishes the layup. It's a 3-point lead for the Titans, 12-9.
Fantastic move by McKinney, getting her body in front of the defender, making her unable to defend that layup.
Vasquez going up on the left side and lays it in with her left hand. Quick offense for Chemeketa, 12-11.
That quick offense is helping a lot, keeping them in this game.
Malone a step back mid-range jumper, and it's 14-11. Both teams' offenses are scoring fast as Chemeketa trying to break the full court press, had it knocked out of bounds by Shepley. Going to stay here with the Storm. They're going to check out from the far sideline.
Yeah, if Shepley hadn't tipped that ball out of bounds, I think we would have had the next 2 minutes probably run on of that fast break offense for each team. But now this puts a little pause on it and slows down the momentum.
Half-court defense now for the Titans. Mike keeping it herself down the left lane, short. And up the floor the Titans go, pushing the pace still. McInich out for Hamill. Quick three-pointer. No good, and the Titans haven't been able to shoot well from beyond the arc today.
Yeah, they're still 0 of 5. I think now 0 of 6 from behind the arc. We'll see how long it takes them until they make that first three-pointer, because as we've seen, they'll keep taking them.
Counts off the heel of the rim, up the floor quickly. They throw it to Hamill, and she was cherry-picking and able to make the reception and layup. 16-11 now for the Titans.
And it was a beautiful pass by McKinney to find her teammate all the way up the court.
1 minute and 10 seconds remaining in the first quarter of basketball. Wayne with a 5-point lead. Far corner Counts. They get it up for Vasquez. She'll drive in the lane, kick it to the corner, and before she could, that's a charge. Shepley stood in there.
Good job by Shepley, just keeping her feet set. Knew the defender wasn't looking at her, and just drew the charge.
Malone's going to check out as Cooper comes back into the game with 1:02 to play in the first quarter. Both teams with high, fast-paced offense. And the Titans on the offensive end. McKinney in the far corner dribbles it out to the right wing. She'll get a screen from McInich and angle her way into the paint before kicking it to Shepley in the corner. She'll drive into the paint, out for McInich at the foul stripe, into the corner. Cooper a three-pointer off the back of the rim. And Deeker's there as she corrals it. Shepley, though, got back on the defensive end, knocks it out of bounds again, and, man, she has been good at that full-court press defense.
Yeah, Shepley's looking like a free safety out here, breaking up passes, making sure that the fast break does not result in points for Chemeketa.
Inside Counts going up and under the basket. She gets the lane to fall. It's a three-point game again, under 25 seconds to play. McKinney angling her way to the left wing. Got a screen from McInich, but went the other way. Goes up with her left hand and gets it to roll in. 5-point lead again, 10 seconds to play. Glenzel hands it off for Mike into the far corner, counts a three-pointer. Can't rattle in. Glenzel, an offensive board, puts it back up and in as the buzzer sounds. Huge bucket right at the end after Glenzel got the offensive board. Makes it a one-possession game after the first quarter. 18-15 the score in favor of the Titans. But overall, a really sloppy quarter for both teams shooting the basketball.
Yeah, definitely. Both teams shooting in the 30% range. Chemeketa 35% from the field, Lane 38%. It's been a rough game for both teams, but they found recent success on the inside. Like you said, Glenzel on that final play came down, made the play just before the buzzer, got the ball in the hoop to turn this into a one-possession game. And Lane, in the final 2 minutes of that quarter, was also making plays on the inside, finding their way to the hoop, and putting up good shots around the basket.
So a quarter of basketball in. Who's really impressed you so far for Lane in the opening going, and who's really impressed you for the Storm?
For Lane, I'm going to have to go with Emma McKinney. She's got 4 points right now, 2 of 3 from the field, and 2 assists. And one of those assists was a full-court pass to Bella Hamill down low in the paint for that layup. And that kind of started the run that Lane built and started to at least take the lead and at least start putting points up on the board. And for Chemeketa, I'm going to go with Leva Mike. She's been facilitating the offense, keeping the ball moving. Even though she's only 1 of 5, she at least adds something to the offense and keeps the ball in play and keeps Lane's defense scrambling.
We're back into action here in the second quarter. Lane starting with the basketball on the far side of the court. And a bad pass from Hamill goes out of bounds, knocked out by Mondragon. That's a turnover by the Titans. Chemeketa basketball. They get it into Mike. Again, the full court press for Lane. Glenzel dribbling up the far side of the court, got it past the half court side. Her pass, though, was stolen away by Cooper. Glenzel back on the defensive end, blocks it, and it's going to stay here with the Titans. But what a play by Jenna Glenzel to get back on defense.
Yeah, like you said, she flew down the court, got in front of Bella Hamill, or my bad,
Wow,
Cooper, Morgan Cooper, and jumped up and making her work extra for these 2 points.
Actually, it is a foul. Initially, I saw the referee point out of bounds to the right.
I think you're right. I think they might have met and just agreed afterwards that it is a foul.
So Cooper at the line misses the first free throw. Cooper, an 85.7% free throw shooter, so a rare miss for her. And goes 0 for 2 at the line, so ball don't lie potentially. As Shepley in the far corner makes it in, a three-pointer. And it's a 6-point lead now for the Titans, 21-15. Mondragon quickly up the floor, hands it off to Counts, laying good in the paint. And answering right back from the 3 with a 2-point jumper, and both teams pressing.
Yeah, Chemeketa keeping what they had working for them in that first quarter and keeping the fast break offense going.
Makinich misses the shot. Hamill an offensive board, hands it off to Makinich in the paint. Turnaround hook, no good. Got her own board again. Missed it and again got her own board. Malone a three-pointer, no good, and Mondragon corrals it.
It's quite a stretch for Lane there of a bunch of offensive boards.
Glenzel dribbles it to the top. Bounces it to the elbow for Counts. She'll work in on Hamill, gives it to Glenzel, a three-pointer, just can't rattle in. Rebounded by Hamill. Malone now goes in, and a travel is going to be called on Malone before she made contact with Glenzel. 8:22 to play, a turnover by the Titans, and Lane with the 4-point lead, 21-17.
Yeah, Malone saw that Glenzel set her feet and tried to go do a Euro step around it, but ended up dragging one of her feet a little bit too much. Got called with the travel. I think she also would have gotten called with the charge as well, as she did make a little too much contact.
Cooper's going to check out of the game. Pierzina checks in now for the Titans. Haydes looked like she got shoved from behind. She hit the deck hard as she's trying to stretch it out on the court. She'll get up, and it was a push. Foul is going to be on Pierzina.
They're not calling it a shooting foul.
You're right, as they'll inbound it in. Mondragon in the near corner. Dribbling on Makinich. Backing her way, turns around and hooks it in. 21-19 as Chemeketa cuts it to 2.
Mondragon's also making her presence known in the paint as she drove in earlier and found her teammate for the assist, and they're backing him down and getting the 2 easy points.
Pierzina out for McKinney on the right wing. Back to the top for Hamill as she'll reset in the front court. Makinich into the corner. Pierzina now driving baseline. Lost it. The ball is on the floor, and it's taken away by the Storm. The bench is making some noise. As down the lane, Deeker gives it to Counts. She looked like she was shoved from behind, and a whistle's going to be called, and Shepley's going to be called with the foul.
Shepley just seemed to get lost in the action there and just was going after the ball and ended up colliding pretty hard with, I believe, Aaron Counts. Seems like both players are fine after the collision, though.
Mike to inbound. Throws it up to the top. Haydas there with the reception. Counts now into the corner. Deeker back to Counts in the corner. She'll drive down the lane. Goes up with the right hand. Airballed it. Ball bouncing around, but Mike comes up with it in the corner. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Mike stops at the left elbow. Puts up a mid-range jumper and ties it at 21.
Mike has 4 points, and all 4 points have come from right there at the elbow on a stop pull-up jumper.
Makinich lost it, taken away. Another steal for the Storm. Now with the double team, it forces a turnover. Shepley picks it up, puts up a 3, and it bangs it in.
That's a momentum killer right there. The Chemeketa team, as you were saying, the bench into the game, their fans here into the game clapping. And then Shepley just takes the ball, silences them, gets the lane fans back into it.
Mondragon double teamed again, lost it momentarily, threw it up for Haydas, and it's out of bounds off of Haydas as she tried to save it. Back-to-back turnovers for Lane on double teams. And a couple of substitutions as Hamill and Makinich come out. Malone and McKinney back in. Lane with a 3-point lead, 24-21. 6:15 to play, second quarter. Pierzina down the right lane, spinning her way inside, had it taken away from her. The ball's on the floor and a whistle. Kick ball's going to be called against Lane, and it's Chemeketa basketball.
We've seen a lot of bodies on the floor today. I believe that's third or fourth time that we've seen several players from each team on the ground fighting for the ball. It's the first time, though, we've seen them call a kickball.
It's been stingy defense all day. Haydas dribbling up the near side of the court, gives it over to the left wing. Mike has it. Shepley with defense. Mike dribbling around her, draws 2 defenders on her, goes up with a shot, and it just rolls off to the right. Mike a little shaken up in the back court. McKinney hands it off to Shepley. She'll put up a 3-pointer and swishes it through. Timeout's going to be called as Leva Mike is a little bit shaken up.
I believe she might have been poked in the eye. She keeps pulling her jersey up and rubbing her eye.
And it does look like she got hit in the head. They're in a stop time to get her situated on the sideline. But how about this 3-point shooting right now from Sierra Shepley? Back-to-back 3-pointers.
Really turned around Lane's 3-pointing for the moment. As we were saying in the first quarter, Lane was shooting, I believe, 2 of 8 or 1 of 8 from the 3. Now 3 of 11. Still not an impressive stat, but Shepley 3 of 5 herself. Hoping to give some light to this team and hopefully heat up the rest of her teammates from around the arc.
Chemeketa gets it in. Mondragon out to the top. Dribbling it around into the near corner. Madrigal working with Malone on her, spinning her way inside, and she's blocked by ball, taken away. Malone up the floor now. Spinning her way around, dribbles between her back and out to the top. McKinney back down for ball, hands it off to Shepley on the right wing. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Shepley hands it off to Malone. She'll get a screen, go to the foul stripe, put up a floater off to the left. Ball with the board and puts it back up and in, 29-21.
Yeah, this Lane team, their offense, I said earlier, is facilitated by their defense. And right there, Malone putting pressure on Madrigal and ball come in, make the block, led down to 2 points on offense.
Chemeketa gonna go down to the low block, spinning her way inside, counts, gets the basket to fall and one. That's a way to respond to an 8-0 run by the Titans. They get the basket and a chance for a three-point play with Aaron Counts.
Yeah, without a doubt, a great way to respond. You need the and one. And look at Aaron Counts laughing, joking around with the ref. She's happy she got the and one too. Bringing some life back to this Chemeketa team. Only down 6, a lot can happen.
Timeout's going to be called. 4:30 to play, second quarter, 29-23. And right now it feels like momentum starting to shift in the favor of the Titans, although that three-point play potentially could just happen with Counts, but it feels like this is the point in the game where the Titans are starting to pull away a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Right now the Titans, like we were saying earlier, Shepley just started hitting her three-pointers, which when you're up already and the opposing team is – when you're up and you're hitting your threes, the opposing team can't really do much else. You're going to start to fall behind. Lane's just going to start heating up. That's how they always play. It's been a cold first quarter for them, but I think the rest of the 3 quarters they're going to play the way that they have played all season.
I think the story right now is Sierra Shepley with those 3 three-pointers. She's shooting 3 of 5 from the field so far. What do you think the Titans got to do to get the ball into her hand and get her some open looks beyond the arc?
I mean, she's been doing it herself. As when they play the full court defense, she'll get a steal and finds herself open at 3 with the ball. And that's how she's gotten those 3 threes, and I think that's how it's going to continue. As Chemeketa is going to struggle to get past half court, and Lane's just going to be able to find their players open around the arc.
Aaron Counts at the line, a freshman 5'10" forward from St. Paul, Oregon. Converts the N1 play, and it's a 5-point game, 29-24. Bierzina dribbling it up for the Titans. He's getting some big minutes today. Hasn't played much this season. Able to come off the bench today. Malone into the paint, zigzagging her way in and finishes the floater, 31-24 for the Titans.
I'm always amazed seeing Malone make those impressive layups down low, as she's one of the shorter players on this team, getting it past all the height down low in the paint.
Lane's full court defense causes another turnover. Malone pushing to the far side. Shepley, she'll put up a 3, short, and it's off of Malone, out of bounds. Chemeketa basketball.
Solid effort by Malone, just unable to grab it. And it was a beautiful pass to Shepley on the other side of the court, too.
And a travel is going to be called on Chemeketa. It was Vera Segal who ran with the ball on the baseline. She thought she was taking it out right after a basket. Instead, you can't do that when the ball's just knocked out of bounds. She ran along the baseline. It's a turnover.
Yeah, just an unlucky mistake there. Hopefully it doesn't bite them back. And Shepley with the open 3. And it does.
Yeah, it does. As Shepley hits her 4th three-pointer of the game. She's shooting 50% from 3 today. And it's a 10-point lead, 34-24.
Yeah, that's just not what you want if you're Chemeketa, but if you're Lane, that's the perfect scenario.
Mike will angle her way back to the top. They'll reset. They give it to the elbow for Counts. She'll put up a mid-range jumper. Too strong. Hamill hauls it in. Malone quickly for McInich. Left lane, goes up with her left hand and finishes it. It is a 15-3 run for the Titans as they've put the lead to 12.
And those 3 came from the and one, which, as we were saying, hopefully might give them momentum back to this Chemeketa team. And as we've seen, it didn't really.
And a foul is going to be called on Malone. That's her first. 2:57 to play. Chemeketa basketball. Mike with Makinich on her. Dribbles to the left, looking for Counts. She finds her at the elbow. Counts thinking about a long two-pointer. She puts it up. Off to the left. Shepley corrals it and throws it up the floor for Malone. Just a little bit too far in front of her as it brings Malone out of bounds, and it's another turnover by the Titans.
Yeah, the Titans are just too eager to get down. Shepley saw Malone running the fast break that they always run. There's a little too much on it.
Adis gets it in as Deeker will dribble it. Spinning Makinich around. She kept it herself into the paint. Now out for Counts for a three-pointer. It's short, and it's corralled by McKinney. Up the floor quickly, but knocked out of bounds by Counts as she got back on the defensive end. Normally, Shepley's the one doing that for the Titans. That time, on the offensive end, she was waiting for the pass, but it was knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, Chemeketa just giving them lane back what they've been doing to them all game. Had to show them that they can do it too, and they can stop the fast break.
Both teams playing very similar. Hamill in the paint. She's blocked by Counts.
Almost turned it over there.
It feels like that's been a lot of this game. There's a lot of turnovers and then a turnover right back as now Lane comes up with a turnover. Malone down the left lane. Working in the low block. Malone off the backboard and in. How about that from the 5'2" guard?
That was an amazing move. Just hit her with the shimmy, then faced her up and crossed it back inside. Had the defender lost.
Minute 37 and counting here in the second quarter. 38-24. It's another turnover. Malone comes up with it. Dribbling her way down the court. Kicks it to Shepley. A three-pointer. Swished in.
Shepley looking like Steph Curry this game. 4 for 7. I think now 5 for 8 from 3.
What a performance indeed. Chemeketa, though, a 2-on-1 after they beat the full court press. Grimmer keeps it herself and finishes it 41-26.
That's been Chemeketa's only hope at getting points, is splitting past this full court, which they've only done very rarely. But when they do, they are able to get that open layup.
Cooper to the top for Hamill. Gets a screen from Makinich, pulls up just beyond the foul line, off to the right. It's rebounded by Chemeketa. 42 seconds to play. Into the lane, and fouled was Deeker. Now Deeker's going to go and shoot two. Mondragon's going to check into the game now for Counts. Cooper will check out. Ball back into the game. First free throw, no good from Deeker.
Both teams struggling at the line today. Both shooting around 50%.
Deeker makes the second free throw, and that continues the 50% trend. It's a 14-point game, 41-27, 37 seconds and counting. It's about a 9-second difference between the game clock and shot clock. Ball, dribbled it off her foot, picked it back up. Makinich inside the paint, lost it. The ball's on the floor, out of bounds off the Titans. It's another turnover, and Chemeketa with a chance for the final possession here in the first half.
That's a lucky turnover for Chemeketa. Addie Malone was wide open in the right corner. The closest person was in the paint. It would have been quite an easy three, hopefully getting her heated up. But the Chemeketa was able to force the ball out of bounds.
Up the near side of the court is Adis. Under 20 seconds to play, 15 seconds and counting. Adis guarded by Birch. in the front court. Working around, got a screen from Grimmer, then lost the ball. 5 seconds to play. Three-pointer from Vasquez, airballed. Hamill picked it up, and no final shot will be taken. The buzzer sounds, ending the first half of basketball, 41-27. Lane with the lead. They were able to stretch the lead just a little bit after leading 18-15 after the first quarter. They explode for 23 points and hold Chemeketa to just 12 points in the second quarter. What did Lane do differently in the second quarter that resulted in more points?
Well, obviously, Sierra Shepley hitting her threes, 5 of 8 from the field, or 5 of 8 from 3-point line. Well, also 5 of 8 from the field. She's only taken threes, but she's made all of the 3-pointers for this Lane team. And there's only been one other 3-pointer in this entire game, and it was made by Chemeketa. Both teams are still struggling to shoot, as Chemeketa's 9% from 3, and Lane is 35, but that's all because of Sierra Shepley. It's just been a 3-point shooting game, and Lane's the team that's making them.
It also felt like when Jenna Glenzel was on the floor for Chemeketa, she brought an energy that kept the Storm in this game. She checked out, and right when she checked out, it was when Lane went on their huge run towards the end of the quarter. Talk about her energy on the team and what she brings and how that resulted in that huge swing in momentum for Lane.
Well, we saw it once where Jenna Glenzel ran down and made the block. They did call it for a foul, but still she was able to sprint back and make them. I believe they missed both free throws.
Ball don't lie.
Yeah, ball don't lie. She made them. It was a stop. She got back on the stop. Once you take someone like that out, you don't have that defensive presence who can save you, can stop that fast break. She definitely is one of the fastest players on the court, and she can jump one of the as high as anyone on the court as well. Taking her out of the game, it makes running the fast break for Lane that much easier.
Well, that'll do it for the first half of basketball. Lane with a 14-point lead, 41-27. We're going to step aside and take a break, but in about 13 minutes or so, we'll be right back for the second half of basketball. Don't go anywhere here on the Lane Community College live stream. Knight Uretsky and AJ Trainer are going to be with you all day, as the men's basketball game will be on that right after the conclusion of this one. Hello and welcome back to Lane Community College. Second half of basketball between the Lane Titans and the Chemeketa Storm. The Storm are going to start with the ball. They'll be wearing the black uniforms going from our right to our left. As Counts throws it away, ball comes up with a steal, and the Titans push in right away after a defensive stand on their first defensive possession.
Continuing what they had going for them in the first half, making the defensive stop and coming down on offense quickly.
Makinich into the corner. Cooper off the heel of the rim. Ball bounced around, and it found its way back to Makinich. She'll stop on the foul stripe, gives it back to Cooper at the top. Out to the left wing, Makinich into the corner. Hamill a three-pointer, and that one sinks in. 44-27, the Titans start with a three-pointer.
This is the third quarter, and that's only the third person this game to make a three-pointer.
Turnover by Chemeketa, and you're right, it's been a poor shooting day for both teams beyond the arc. A lot of the action from three-point range has been Sierra Shepeley. And Shepeley had 15 points, 5 three-pointers, but other than her, not really a lot going from three-point range.
Yeah, that's the sixth three-pointer for Lane. 5 of them, like you just said, coming from Sierra Shepeley. They're 6 of 16, which now shooting close to 40% isn't horrible, but knowing this Lane team, they're capable of doing a lot more.
Absolutely are capable of doing a lot more from beyond the arc. They cause the turnover. Mike's going to check out. Glenzelchuk's into the game now for Chemeketa. And Lane gets it in with Makinich at the top. 9 minutes to play, third quarter. Makinich, spinner away on Glenzel, gives it out for Birch. She'll drive down the left lane. Picks up her dribble and gives it back to the top for Makinich. Hamill on the left wing, gets a screen from Ball. She'll take it to the right lane and kicks it in the corner from Makinich. Glenzel drops to the floor. Birch out for Hamill in the far corner. She'll drive baseline, goes up with a floater, and it's a charge.
Chemeketa, Glenzel was looking for that charge earlier, that possession, but they still got it later after Chemeketa had to hit the floor.
8:39 to play, third quarter. 44-27, a 17-point lead. They get it in now for Deeker. Dribbles it off her foot, and it's a turnover by the Storm. Makinich into the near corner. Birch out for Hamill on the right perimeter. Inside the paint, ball spins around, can't finish the layup. Glenzel snags the board. Deeker, the point guard today. Hands it off to Glenzel. She'll drive to the elbow, picks up her dribble, and then gives it back to the top for Counts. Out to the left wing, Haydes pulls up from the elbow and airballed it completely. It's taken away by Hamill. Makinich hands it out. Birch, a three-pointer, banked off, and a foul is going to be called on the floor on Lane.
This Lane team, even though they're up a decent amount, that doesn't stop them. As we've seen earlier this season, they play until that final buzzer. But Sarah Ball, my bad, is going to try as hard as she can to get that rebound, even though they're up a decent amount.
They get it into Glenzel. We'll dribble it up the near side of the court, hands it off to inside. Now a three-pointer from Mike, and that one goes through. Chemeketa with their first three-pointer here in the second half. 14-point game again, 44-30.
That's a big three-pointer there for Chemeketa. They needed something to get them going in this quarter. Now you can hear their bench.
Makinich taking it to the basket. Down the left lane, finishes 16-point game. It's an excellent response for Lane after, like you said, the bench was starting to feel it. Glenzel pushes the corner. Counts thinking about a three-pointer. She'll take it off the heel of the rim. Cooper climbs the ladder and then is fouled.
Yeah, both teams here hoping to get momentum going. We're now 3 minutes into the quarter. Only 5 points from Lane, 3 points from Chemeketa. Chemeketa only has that one three-pointer, which just happened. We'll see if that can hopefully spark something as Lane's been struggling to get it going.
6:50 to play, third quarter. 46-30, Lane with the lead. Makinich got a screen from Hamill, picked up her dribble and gave it back to Hamill at the top. She'll drive down the right lane, splitting between two defenders, lost the ball. It's out of bounds, off of Hamill. Storm basketball.
She had her teammate Birch open on the wing, was hoping to try and draw the foul, and there was contact as they ended up on the floor, but no foul was called.
Glenzel overhands it inside for Mike. They go back to Glenzel after two defenders are left in the backcourt. Counts, gives it inside for Vasquez. She's fouled, and Vasquez will go to the line to shoot two.
Great ball movement there. All started from Glenzel, then swung to the corner to Counts, down to the inside to their teammate, I believe, Vasquez. Just making Lane scramble as they're trying to play that trap defense, keeping them moving around the court, making them tired. Eventually, they're going to find that opening.
Vasquez misses the first free throw. Has a chance here at the line for free throw number 2. She makes it. Chemeketa today shooting 50% at the line, and just another example of that right there. Ball will check out. Shepley comes back into the game for the Titans. Lane led by 14 at the half. They lead by 15 right now. Birch gives it over to Makinich. She'll dribble her way to the paint. Out for Birch, a three-pointer, and that sinks through. 49-31 for the Titans.
It's not a good sign for Chemeketa if this Lane team is going to start hitting their threes. As we've seen, they can be lethal from back there.
Counts stepped on the sideline. It's a turnover by the Storm, and that's just a mistake you can't really have if you're looking to stay into this basketball game.
It manages to happen a lot on this court, though, I've noticed. A lot of teams make that mistake.
We've seen it a lot, actually, throughout, especially in the men's game. I remember a couple weeks ago, we did a men's game together, and Jay Elmore stepped out of bounds, I want to say 4 or 5 times throughout a game on the sideline. So it's definitely an occurrence here at LCC. Makinich to the top for McKinney. He hands it off to Shepley and over to Hamill on the left wing. Back to the top for Makinich. Went right through her hands, but kept it alive into the corner. Shepley, a three-pointer, and it's money.
This Lane team is just running away with it at this point. If they're making their threes and they're making Chemeketa make sloppy turnovers, I don't see what's going to stop them for the rest of this game.
Timeout is going to be called by Chemeketa. 5:27 to play, third quarter. It is a 21-point lead for Lane, and this just feels like another Lane Community College basketball. They've won every game but one so far this season by 20-plus points. They've been able to stretch the lead from 14 points at halftime to right now 21 points here in the second half, and it looks like they're starting to run away.
I think a lot of it has to do with their depth. We said it before the game. This Chemeketa team only has, I believe, 8 to 10 players. This Lane community team, they have 3 more players, adding so much depth, and each player contributes so much to the team. There's some players here for Chemeketa that haven't really gone in, haven't really contributed that much, while Lane's using every player to their full capabilities. And that's why as the game goes on, they get better and they run up the score more and more.
7 players have scored for the Titans. None more impressive than Sierra Shepley, who just hit her 6th three-pointer of the game. She has 18 points, all 18 off the three-point jumper. And just really, what has she been doing that's created so many open looks for her and has been able to knock so many shots down?
She's just finding the holes in the defense as they're collapsing when her teammates drive in and she's getting herself set up around the arc. She's only taken 9 shots and all 9 have come from around the arc. So she's just, and they've all been catch and shoot. She just runs to the corner right where the defense collapsed and her teammates find her.
5:27 to play. 21-point lead for the Titans. Chemeketa going to need to go on a huge run to get back into this one. Mike, right wing on the perimeter, guarded by Makinich. She'll take it down to the lower block, put up a shot, and it sinks through. 19-point lead now for Lane. Makinich backing away inside, goes up with the right hand, and that's a quick response.
I don't see why you don't do that every play for how easy that was.
Nobody even guarding her. She just easily walked her way to the basket. Mike now pump fakes a three, now puts it up. Bounces around, Birch snags it, and then turns it back over to Chemeketa. Counts a three-pointer, near corner, off the heel of the rim. McKinney had it, but she was pushed from behind. Foul is going to be called on number 21, Ellison Hayes.
That's just not what you want if you're Chemeketa. Trying to make a comeback, having a sloppy little foul like that, not only does it bring your team's morale down, but it also slows down your momentum.
So 4:37 to play, third quarter, 21-point lead for Lane. And at this point in time, it's a little bit of a tricky situation. Do you continue to play your main starters for the Titans, or do you can take them out, try to put in the bench, and see if they can keep the scoring going?
Well, at this point, you could try and put in the bench and see what happens if they start to come back. Your starters still have a bunch of time to come back and save that lead that you had. But you also could keep the starters in and then put the backups in when they don't have enough time to even let that happen. I think knowing this Lane team, with there's 5 minutes left in this third quarter, their first rotation with the 6th and 7th man coming off the bench, they'll probably get the most of the minutes for these last 5. Starting in the fourth quarter, we'll see the full depth of this Lane team's bench.
Lane with a win today would seal their 20th straight 20-win season. They're 19-0 overall this year. And Greg Shelley, since taking over for the Titans 22 years ago, has been so impressive. A 719-200 record during his time as the head coach of the Titans. Looking for win 720 today. And 20 straight 21 seasons would be pretty remarkable.
That has to be a record.
I think it has to be a record in that NWAC. We'll have to look that up sometime. Malone in the far corner, dribbling around, working on Mike. Behind her back, she flings it over to Ball and back to the top for Birch. Ball gives her a screen. Birch hands it off to McKinney. Thought about a three, pump fake, drove it inside the arc and out for Malone. She'll stop on the foul stripe, handing off the Ball at the elbow. 3 seconds on the shot clock. I don't know if Lane realized it. Ball puts up a shot, and it hits the rim, but off to the right. Mike going to pull up for 3, and that's off to the right again. And McKinney grabs it, throws it up the floor. A wide open Malone. Contested shot after Glenzel got back on the defensive end. Shepley cleans it up, though, and lays it in. 56-33.
We were talking about it earlier with Glenzel. There she is running down the court. Full sprint, making the stop, making Addie Malone miss that layup. Causing Lane to have some trouble, but this Lane team, as we said, has all that depth. Shepley just coming in, helping Lane finish and get that layup.
Mike from the short corner gets the mid-range J to fall, about a 12-foot shot. And it's back to a 21-point game. Shepley in the far corner. Driving on Glenzel and contact, and it's a charge.
Glenzel's been a defensive force this entire game.
The third foul on Shepley. The fourth foul on Lane in the quarter. Malone will check out. Cooper comes into the game.
Oh, Glenzel's hurt.
And Glenzel being attended to. I think she got a little bit of blood or something. They're getting the first kit out. Doesn't look too serious. Maybe scraped up her hand or something.
Yeah, she's putting it on herself. The coach just gave her the bag and walked away.
Community college basketball.
First aid at its finest.
Inside, Mike gives it to the top. Long two-point jumper of Vasquez was airballed, and that was a very ugly empty possession for Chemeketa.
I think the quick little substitution at Glenzel got them all a little shaken up. Hopefully now they're settled after that possession.
McKinney gives it to Ball at the foul stripe, hands it off to Birch. She'll drive down the left lane before kicking it to McKinney in the corner. Backing her way on Counts into the near corner. Birch, a three-pointer off the back of the rim. Cooper comes up with the offensive board, and a jump ball is going to be called as Counts got her hands in the cookie jar and tied her up.
Doesn't really. It's going to help Chemeketa later in the game, but at this moment, it's going to keep it at lane basketball. Not really doing much, but slowing down the possession.
Ball in the near corner, gives it to Birch. They bounce it to McKinney, a wide open three-pointer, and McKinney drills it.
It was a beautiful off-ball screen by Ball, helping McKinney get open in the corner and just catch the ball and put up that three.
59-35, under 2:25 to play, third quarter. Mike, behind her back, working on Shepaway. Counts on the far corner now. Got a screen from Grimmer, dribbles her way to the foul stripe, and then McKinney took it away. Up the far side of the court, dribbling it into the paint. McKinney will dribble it to the near corner now. Got it knocked out of bounds. Going to stay here, though, with the Titans.
Good job by McKinney, just holding the ball, going through that traffic. Saw that the fast break got stopped, tried to reset it, and just it got tipped out of bounds by, I believe it was Aaron Counts.
Counts checks out. Glenzel back into the game, and a turnover is going to be called after Lane threw it into the backcourt. Glenzel, another impact play. She comes right in, guarding her man, and it's a turnover.
They heard her footsteps.
Under a minute 50, 59-35. Vasquez at the top, guarded by Ball. Angles her way into the lower block, out for Mike. The foul stripe, she'll drive down the left lane and goes up with her left hand, can't finish. Ball is on the floor, they found it to McKinney, up the floor, and Glenzel knocks it out of bounds.
Glenzel making plays all across the court. Taking one out of Shepley's book there. Coming down and stopping the fast break.
Birch to inbound it, under 90 seconds to play in the third quarter. Makinich hands it off, McKinney in the corner. It falls through again. Emma McKinney, who had 18 points in their last game, 19 points in their last game. And a 5-second is going to be called as the full court press causes another turnover for the Chemeketa Storm.
Having something like this happen to your team when you're down by almost 30, it's hard to get a comeback to happen.
McKinney lays it in. Emma McKinney with 12 points today. She also has 5 rebounds and 4 assists. McKinney having a pretty solid game, also shooting 5 of 6 for the field. Kenny's averaging 13.8 points per game, so right around her average. And so far this season, she's been shooting over 50%. Another excellent display of shooting today as Lane comes up with a stop on the defensive end. They throw it up for Newell. Wide open layup is good. 66-35. It's a 31-point lead.
One of my favorite things about this Lane team is even though they're up, these baskets, they're just baskets to keep the game where it is. They somehow cheer more and more for their teammates as they score more and more as this game goes on.
Shot clock is off, 15 seconds to play in the third quarter. Grimmer to the right wing from Mike. Got a screen from Grimmer. Will drive down the left lane, goes up with her left hand off the backboard, no good. 5 seconds to play. Makinich up the floor. 2 seconds, McKinney, and Glenzel knocked it out of bounds with .6 on the clock.
We don't have the defensive stats tracked, but if they were, I feel like Glenzel would have almost 10 passes broken up.
Wish that was a stat that you could keep. I know this isn't football, but that'd be a cool one for this one. There's been a lot of passes deflected in this one.
Yeah, Shepley and Glenzel both going at it.
Who do you think has more?
I think right now Shepley, but as the game goes on, I could see Glenzel passing her because I think Shepley also might not play that much in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's a 31-point lead for Lane. I think it's pretty much out of reach at this point. I know there's still 10 minutes to play, but 31 points against the #1 overall Lane Community College Titans. It's going to be a tough one to climb.
Yeah, they'd need momentum to switch drastically, and I just don't see how that would happen. This Lane team playing at home, this bench, they've built such good team chemistry. I don't see what could slow down this Lane team.
Talk about this third quarter. Lane outscored Chemeketa 25-8 during that frame. What were they doing defensively to hold their opponent to just single digits in that 10-minute period?
It's that full court press that they've had all game. It was working all right in the first. Chemeketa was finding their ways to slip by, but now as the game's gone on, Lane has found a way they've put a safety blanket back there, got one person making sure that if someone does slip by, it's not just a wide open layup, and that's what limited them to only being able to make just a couple baskets that quarter, only, I believe, 3 or 4.
Back for the fourth quarter, Lane leading 66-35. Chemeketa going to start with the basketball. Mike hands it off. Deeker got a screen from Grimmer. Spun around McKinney, stops at the foul stripe, gives it out to Vasquez. He'll drive down the left lane, and she'll finish it. Wide open layup. Now Chemeketa's bench making some noise, hoping to spark any kind of drastic turnaround. Makinich, though, in the paint, gives it to the top for Birch. Birch got a screen from Newell, then her pass is taken away, tipped out by Glenzel, and up the floor. Glenzel having to readjust that bandage she put on her hand.
Trying not to get subbed out again is when she's on the court, it's when Chemeketa's defense is at its best.
Deeker angling her way to the foul stripe, out for Glenzel. Thinking about a three, decides to dribble it instead. Throws it over to Mike on the right wing. Shepley with defense, 3 seconds on the shot clock. Mike puts up a shot, it can't rattle in, but she got her own board on the offensive end, and then a jump ball is going to be called after Shepley got her hands inside. It's going to be Lane basketball. Counts will check in, and Grimmer checks out.
I think it should have been Chemeketa's ball. As the arrow was pointing at Chemeketa, then they flipped it to Lane for them to inbound it and then flipped it right back.
The possession arrow was to Chemeketa to start the fourth quarter, which is why they got to take out. They didn't flip it, and that's why it was Lane's basketball. As Lane gets a 2-point shot to go in, 68-37. And every basket that Chemeketa has, it's answered back with 2 points of Lane's own.
That's what makes coming back from a deficit against this Lane team extra difficult is when you even though they make a basket, majority of the time they bring the ball down, if you make one on your chance going down, then there's a even better chance that Lane's going to score on their time down on the offensive side.
10-second violation on Chemeketa. It seems like all the simple mistakes that can be made in a basketball game have been committed by Chemeketa today. There's another example of it right there.
Yeah, just having little fouls like that, it makes it hard to see a comeback happening for this Chemeketa team.
Makinich misses the jumper. Noel got the on board. McKinney, a three-pointer. Splash money, Emma McKinney.
Emma McKinney trying to show up her teammate, Shepley. Shepley was the only one with 3-pointers here, and now McKinney's trying to take a shot at it and say she can make her threes too.
And Shepley showing up Jenna Glenzel as she knocks her pass out of bounds. Another pass deflection. Emma McKinney has really had a great second half. Been able to score 15 points overall in the game. She provides quality minutes off the bench. Mike dribbled off the foot of Shepley. She fell to the floor. Counts inside. Gets the lay-in to roll in. 71-39 now. Lane with the lead. McKinney, right lane, goes up. She's fouled. And Emma McKinney's going to go to the line where this season she's been pretty much automatic. McKinney shooting 95% from the foul stripe this season. She had a game where she went 14 for 14 at the line earlier this year. And it feels like 2 free points are coming up for the Titans.
Yeah, like you said, shooting 14 for 14, basically automatic the entire season. She's basically been automatic from the field today, only missing 1 shot from 3. Ooh.
And I think that was a little bit of an announcer's jinx. She misses a free throw. That's a rarity.
We hyped her up a little too much.
See if she can respond here. If she goes 0 for 2 at the line, then I'm not sure. And she does. Wow.
Quite a rare sight to see.
I don't think you'll see that all season. An empty trip for Emma McKinney at the line. Maybe spoke too soon about her being automatic. Either way, shooting 95% from the foul stripe this season is impressive. Lane on the offensive end after a turnover. Newell puts it in on a turnaround. 73-39. The Titans with the lead.
That's a tough shot to take, too. Right over the defender.
Gonzalo got past the defense. A 3-on-1 for the Storm. Counts inside and is fouled.
Believe they called Birch on that foul from behind.
Birch will check out. Hamill will come into the game. Aaron Counts at the line. Her free throw off to the right. Counts today was 1 for 1 at the stripe earlier. Now 1 for 2 in the game. She's had a poor shooting day, shooting 4 of 13 from the field, but she's 0 of 6 from beyond the arc.
Well, that Chemeketa team as a whole has been struggling from beyond the arc today.
Yeah, 2 of 17 from three-point range. Nobody's been able to answer. But second free throw goes in. It's a 33-point lead for Lane. Shepley at the top. Angling away down the right lane, and Gonzalo is going to be called with the foul.
Glenzel visibly unhappy with that. Thinking she played good defense. And maybe they know they got a pass breakup matchup going on, and she's taking it personally.
Shepley sinks the first free throw. 74-40. Shepley now up to 21 points in the afternoon. Make it 22 points as she's perfect at the line, 2 of 2. Leads all scorers with those 22 points. Vasquez, far side of the court, double team, gave it up to Haydes. She lost it, but Vasquez picked it up, goes up with a shot, count the basket and one.
Down 35 there, now 33. This and one. Oh, the ref's laughing at it too. The refs know this is over. This and one isn't going to really add much to it, but it was still an impressive basket.
Vasquez makes the free throw. 75-43. Comeback seems pretty much impossible right now for Chemeketa. Lane, though, still have a lot of their starters in the game. Makinich is in there. Hamill as well, as a foul is going to be called inside. 5 fouls so far here in the fourth quarter, and we're not even 4 minutes into this frame.
A lot of it's got to be they're just getting tired as this game has gone on.
Foul inside, and that's foul number 6. It's going to send Hamill to the line.
Is it in the bonus, or are they calling that a shooting foul?
And I believe it's a shooting foul either way. Hamill's going to shoot 2 after making the first one. Foul was on Vasquez. That was her first. (77-43). Shepley checks out of the game. Cooper in. McKinney causes a turnover. It's out of bounds off of Chemeketa.
Lane's still going with the full court press, up 34 with 6 minutes left in this game. They might be trying to score 100.
All gas, no brakes. We'll see if the Titans can do that. They've scored over 100 a couple of times this season, I believe, as McKinney in the corner drills the three-pointer. Emma McKinney's automatic. Maybe not from the stripe today, but from three-point range, she's been perfect.
Yeah, shooting now 4 of 5 from three-pointer. Oh, Lane almost had the chance there to get Emma McKinney one more.
And she's made her last 4 three-pointers. She missed the first one, and since that point, she's made the rest. And a timeout's going to be called after Counts got the basket. Makes it 80-45. 5:47 to play. If you're Lane right here, is the goal shooting for 100? Or would you just try to just take whatever's to your advantage?
I mean, with how they've been playing it, it seems like they're keeping their starters in, trying to fix the problems with the team that would be playing in this crunch time. But doesn't seem like they have any problems as they're up 35. But there is always room for improvement.
Sierra Shepley, she has 22 points in this game. She was named the NWAC Player of the Week last week and really continuing a strong season for her with the 22 points today, as well as 4 rebounds and assists. Just to find the correct number of games, Lane has scored over 100. Let's see, 6 times this season.
They were close a week ago against Mount Hood. They had 99.
Yeah, they had 99.
And they took one shot with 10 seconds left, but unfortunately it rimmed out.
Late in the season, they beat the U of O club basketball team 108-53.
That's pretty. I mean, the club basketball team, it is just a club, not a collegiate sport, but still, that is quite a dominant win.
Absolutely. Lane, they're going to have 20 points to score in the next 5 minutes and 40 seconds if they want to reach 100. McKinney left alone for 3 points, and she makes it in again. Emma McKinney. What a second half.
Yeah, 5 straight threes for Emma McKinney. And now forcing him out of... Oh, they call her with the block.
Yeah, McKinney's going to get whistled with the foul, but 5 of 6 from three-point range, 5 straight three-pointers. She's 8 of 9 from the field overall, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. She's providing really great minutes off the bench.
Yeah, her and Shepley both giving such great contributions, subbing in, doing their part in this second rotation.
Dribbling up the floor, Haydes inside. Vasquez blocked away, and Makinich comes up with it. Makinich pressing. Gives it to McKinney. Left alone again. That time rattles off. Not going to make 6 straight, but still has a chance at another three-pointer here. Instead, she angles her way inside, picks up her dribble. Out for Hamill, a three-pointer left alone, and Hamill executes the open shot. 86-45. Lane still shooting threes and still knocking them down.
Yeah, even if McKinney's not going to be the one to make it, she's at least going to be the one to make the assist on it. As Lane just running up this lead even more with another 3. And Chemeketa can't even get it to hit the rim on their three-point attempt.
A complete platoon swap for Chemeketa. All 5 players check out. New 5 come on.
That's rare to see.
It is rare to see. Mike, Deeker, Grimmel, Glenzel, and Mondragon check into the game for Chemeketa. McKinney has 5 rebounds, 5 assists with those 21 points now. So a 21-5-5 game for the young player from Springfield, and a whistle inside. Lane's going to go line and shoot 2.
Just giving them 2 free shots, letting them run it closer to 100. At this rate, they still could make it to 100.
Make the first free throw. Cooper did, and it's 86-45. And absolutely, 100 is definitely within reach right now as Cooper makes them both. They're only 12 points away with 4:19 to play. Timeout is going to be called.
They were only they were 23 points away just a minute ago.
Yeah, and then you had back-to-back three-pointers by McKinney. Hamill hits a three-pointer. Cooper makes a couple of free throws. Lane's just not slowing down at all towards the end of the game, despite leading 88-45. It's been an impressive performance so far for Lane, at least on the offensive and defensive end.
Yeah, it took them a minute to get started, as we were saying earlier. Went 1 or 2 of 8 from 3. Not the best start that they've had all season, but now pulling it together. Now as a team, would you believe they're shooting above 50% from 3, despite shooting like 9% earlier this game?
And it's just impressive. I mean, we knew coming into the game Lane shoots about just under 40% from three-point range, and you know they weren't really shooting the ball from beyond 3 that well in the first half. I believe Shepley was the only one.
Shepley was the only one to even have made a 3 going into halftime for Lane.
And since that point, Evan McKinney's hit 5 three-pointers in the second half. Bella Hamill's hit 2, and Maddie Birch has hit 1. Still 4:19 to play, and 100 is within reach for the Titans. So far in the first 5 minutes and 41 seconds, they've scored 22 points. That's more points than they scored the entire first quarter.
And there's still 4 minutes to go, and they only need 12 for 100.
It's true. Deeker gives it to Mondragon. She'll hand it off to Jenna Glenzel. She'll swing it to the left wing. Mike with it. Kurzina with defense. It's knocked off of Mike. Kurzina drives on it on the floor. It's a turnover. Throws it up now for Day, and a turnover is going to be called. Lane, the bench players are in.
And the bench players wanting to show that they're worthy of playing with these starters. They're giving it all they got. Pierzina, like you just said, went all out, laid out for that ball, got it, gave it to her teammate Daya. Just unlucky she couldn't grab it. And Pierzina forced another turnover right there.
Absolutely forced a turnover. 3:41 to play. Lane basketball. You have Cooper, Pierzina, D, Sorensen, and Skinner on the floor. They're going to go inside. Sorensen out to the top. Skinner on the left wing. They go back to Sorensen to D. And it's knocked out of bounds. Stay here with the Titans. 3:24 to play.
Not a lot of dribbling done by this lineup that Lane's got out there right now, but a lot of ball movement.
Inside they go for Skinner. Blocked from behind. It looked like by Mondragon. An empty possession. Dribbling around with it is Mike, and then a whistle. Looked like a shove from behind by Skinner. Actually, they're going to get Pierzina with it. It's her second foul.
Not what you want to see here late in the game. Just sloppy little mistakes.
Glenzel into the far corner. Mike, guarded by Pierzina. Stingy defense prompts a pass to Glenzel. And over to the left wing. Vasquez back to Deeker. And a whistle.
We said this Lane team playing with a lot of energy coming out here. They already got 2 or 3 fouls. Just playing with a little too much energy, would you say?
I would, and that's a missed free throw for Chemeketa. Deeker missed the first one, and it just seems like these bench players that really haven't seen a lot of action so far are a little anxious to get out there on the floor. Really just getting a little too handsy. Here's Ida keeping herself down the right lane, blocked from behind by Grimmer.
Too handsy and aggressive. That was not the type of shot you usually see with about under 3 minutes to go up on 44 or 42.
88-46, 2:40 to play, fourth quarter. Cooper dribbles it out, gives it to Pierzina. Out for Cooper on the near corner. Pump fake the pass, giving it back to Pierzina. They go down inside for Day. Out for Cooper. She'll drive down the lane. Short on the layup attempt. Grimmer grabs it, throws it up the floor, and then Skinner slapped it, which hit Pierzina in the face. Walks it off and will slow things down in the front court. Pierzina got a screen from Sorensen. Lost it momentarily and picks it up beyond the half-court spot, and then a timeout's going to be called by Greg Shelley. Now looking to waste a possession despite being up 42 points. Going to call timeout, and with 11 seconds on the shot clock, Lane's scoreless over the last 2 minutes or so since they put the bench players in.
Yeah, the bench still trying to find their rhythm. I mean, it's hard to come out hot if you've been sitting on a bench for the last 3 quarters, almost 4 quarters. Just trying to warm themselves up. They're struggling. Have they not made any shots?
I don't think so, no. They've been stuck on 88 since the bench players have come in. They're getting their minutes.
Yeah, they've been making stops on defense.
After the timeout, Skinner, Pierzina, Sorensen, Day, and Cooper all on the floor. We have the men's game coming up right after this. Wayne men's currently ranked number 2 in the NWAC. Should be exciting to see them. Pierzina inside was fouled, and she'll go and shoot 2.
Almost got the and 1 there. Rattled around like Kawhi's shot.
Love that reference as a Raptors fan. Pierzina at the line. Makes the first free throw. Pierzina only averaging 2.8 points per game. She was shooting 33% at the foul stripe. Makes the first one, and second one rattles off. Day trying to fight for the offensive board. Instead of it comes up in the hands of Vasquez. And a timeout's going to be called by Chemeketa with 1:42 to play here in the fourth quarter.
Interesting decision. Wondered what you're hoping to do with this timeout.
That was the question that I was going to ask you, AJ. Because you call a timeout right here with 1:42 to play. Are you looking to just get a couple of more points? Maybe you talked about Lane trying to shoot for 100. Is Chemeketa right here shooting for over 50 as they're at 46 points right now?
They could. This might be the time that there's a play that this coach has been sitting on. He wants to test it out. He'll test it out right here. Hopefully it gets him right up there to 49 points, making it easier to cross that 50-point barrier that they've been struggling to cross all game.
Well, this is a really good opponent to try to test out any strategy against. This Lane Community College team, they've only lost 1 game in the last 2 years, and that was to Clackamas, who's the number 2 team in the NWAC. And, you know, this Lane team, consensus number 1, they're undefeated this year. Greg Shelley, props to him. He's going to hang on and win his 20th game of the season for his 20th straight 20-win season. It's just so impressive as he's been the coach here for 22 years. To have that kind of streak with these girls is really impressive, and props to him for making this program into a powerhouse. He's won 8 Southern Region titles, 4 31 seasons so far. He's won 5 NWAC championships, looking for number 6 this year.
Yeah, what an amazing resume. It's just such a great culture that he's built here for this women's basketball program here at Lane.
And the system has been really phenomenal. High-intensity defense, fast-paced offense, able to shoot really well from beyond the arc and drive as well. They have a really deep team, and just the team plays really, really well. And what they're doing at this community college level as they force a 30-second violation right after the timeout by Chemeketa, which again is another one of those simple mistakes that seems like Chemeketa has crossed out consistently throughout the game.
Yeah, they had the 10-second violation earlier. Now a 30-second violation. They're just ticking off everything you really can.
Brzina in the paint, hands it off to Skinner. Back out for Brzina in mid-range. Split two defenders, spins away inside, has an open look, can't bank it in. Out of bounds, gonna stay here though, off of Deeker.
Yeah, Sorensen fighting for the board there. Almost got called with the over the back. She pulled herself off. Ended up being off Chemeketa.
Under a minute to play, 59.8 seconds. Lane gets it in. Day hangs it off. Skinner gets a screen from Sorensen. Driving down the right lane, goes up, gets the basket and one. The bench explodes. They're fired up.
This is the most enjoyment I've seen from this entire bench all game.
Shy Skinner, the sophomore from Burns, Oregon, who's averaging less than a point per game, converts the N1 opportunity. She has 3 points, and I've never seen this bench more excited for the Titans.
Yeah, this is, like we were talking earlier, the coach builds such a strong team chemistry, and we're just seeing it here. One of their teammates converts an and one in the final minute of the game. The whole bench jumping up on the court, cheering their teammate on. You love to see it.
92-46, 25 seconds to play. Brzina throws it down for Cooper, spinning her way in the paint, blocked by behind from Madrigan. Up the floor, Madrigan looking to keep it herself, and she does, banking it in with 14.5 seconds to play. See if Lane's going to even take a final shot. Glenzel pokes it away, though. Madrigan got it, and then a foul is going to be called on Brzina.
Brzina just pissed that she turned the ball over in these final seconds. Was just trying to dribble it out, ended up giving up a turnover. Tried to just get it back to dribble it out, and now we're heading to the line.
It's going to send Madrigan to the line. Fernanda Riviera Madrigan, the guard from North Salem. Has a chance here to give their team 50 points, but she cannot as she misses the first free throw, keeping them at 48 points.
She had the chance to get 50.
They had the shot. Instead, it was off to the right, and with 5.7 seconds to play, she has one more free throw. And she is able to make that one. 49 points for Chemeketa. Lane dribbling the ball out, and that'll do it for this one. The Titans win their 20th game of the year. Congratulations to Greg Shelley and the Titans. 20 straight 20-win seasons for this women's basketball program. And today, just a dominant performance against Chemeketa. It was a little bit close early on, a 3-point game after the first quarter, but after that point, Lane just blew it away.
Yeah, the shooting percentages were similar in the first quarter. Each team only had 1 or 2 threes, and they had taken at least 10. But Lane, just as we've seen, became the team that they've been all season. Hit their shots, and we're finding the open man even more open as this Chemeketa team was getting more tired and couldn't close out as fast. Using the depth that this Lane team has to keep their energy, they just ran away with this game.
The two players of the game have to be Sierra Shepley and Emma McKinney. Both had different halves, but they both were really efficient throughout. Shepley shooting 6 of 9 from three-point range, 7 of 10 from the field, 22 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. Emma McKinney, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, including 5 of 7 from three-point range, in which she made 5 straight three-pointers. Shot overall 8 of 10 from the field, so them combining 15 of 20 overall shooting. Talk about those two players, what you saw from them, and what they can really build off of from this performance.
I mean, the two of them just gave Chemeketa nightmares the entire day. Like you said, 2 different halves. Shepley, the first half, giving Lane hope from around the arc, shooting 6 of 9 from 3. And then Emma McKinney, right as Shepley starts to slow down and you think that Chemeketa has finally a chance to come back into this game. Now that Lane's slowing down, McKinney starts to heat up, and she starts making her shots, giving Chemeketa no chance at coming back. The only thing that I could see them improving on is their mid-range shots, since they only took Shepley only took one layup, and she made it. At that point, there isn't really much you can improve on except on the defensive end. McKinney taking 3 of them and made all 3 of them from inside the arc. Again, there isn't really much you can improve for either of these players.
Well, that'll do it for us here in this women's basketball game. In about 18 minutes or so, we'll get you started for the men's basketball game coming up. Lane hosting Chemeketa in the second half of this doubleheader of the men's and women's. But the women's beat Chemeketa 92-49. It's been a pleasure. Knight Uretsky, AJ Trainer. We'll be right with you just in a few moments.